During the 1950s, America's foreign policy was basically determined by the Cold War. The fear of the USSR, also known as the Red Scare, changed both the domestic and the foreign policy. The foreign policy, however, can be summarized into one word: containment. America's whole goal during the 50s was to contain the spread of communism. They had the fear of the domino effect, or the fear that if a few countries fell to communism, the rest would follow, and eventually communism would spread around the world. To stop this, things like the Truman Doctrine and the Eisenhower Doctrine came into effect, which were used by the US as an excuse to rebuild Europe and establish democratic and capitalistic states in these countries. In other countries that American involvement can be seen was in Latin America, with all the revolutions going on. Both USSR and America had involvement in these revolutions, like the Cuban Revolution, which led to the Cuban Missile Crisis eventually, with the USSR establishing a communist state next to America in Cuba. Other things that consisted of the foreign policy were several proxy wars, like the Korean War, where America supported South Korea, and China and the USSR, the communist powers, supported North Korea. This led to great conflict, and unfortunately, 30,000 Americans lost their lives, and 80,000 Americans were missing in action or prisoners of war. America's foreign policy during the 50s is completely related to the Cold War. It has to do with it. The constant fear of communism shaped this century's foreign policy.